Will J.D. Vance postpone a presidential run? The U.S. Vice President may have been planning to aim for the top job once President Donald Trump's second term ends in 2028, but reports suggest that he may consider postponing a presidential bid to 2032 or even 2036 to put some distance between him and the Trump administration. Well, a report in Britain's Daily Mail says that Vance is seeing his influence waning in the Trump administration. The Iran war has seen the so-called peace president, Donald Trump, embrace his role as commander-in-chief of the world's most powerful military. Trump's abduction of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and now his war on Iran have seen him championing American military interventionism, and this has come against the non-interventionist rhetoric that Vance and his faction in the administration have constantly touted. Trump himself has acknowledged his differences with Vance on the matter of Iran. Now, reports say that Vance is increasingly isolated in the U.S. administration, especially with the recent exits of other dovish members such as Tulsi Gabbard. Now, Gabbard resigned last Friday, citing her husband being diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer. The outgoing U.S. Director of National Intelligence was seen as part of the non-interventionist faction and Vance's ally in the administration. Another dove was Joe Kent, the former director of the U.S. National Counter-Terrorism Center. He quit in protest of the war on Iran, and reports say that Kent was another key Vance ally. The dwindling anti-interventionism faction means that Vance's ability to influence U.S. policy dwindles as well. Therefore, if he chooses to run for president in 2028, he will carry the baggage of the present administration's actions, even if he is opposed to them. And that baggage already seems to be weighing him down. Recent polls by Ipsos and the Public Sentiment Institute show that Americans consider Vance unfavorable. His ratings have been tanking since the war began. Combine this with the fact that most politicians lose approval over the course of their tenure. And this means that Vance will likely start with a massive disadvantage if he runs for president in 2028. However, running later may be even worse for Vance. In 2032, he would be running against an incumbent, and only Jimmy Carter, George H.W. Bush and Donald Trump have lost re-election bids over the last 50 years. And 2036 or later than that means that Vance will risk having been away from the public spotlight for too long. While Vance finds himself between a rock and a hard place, another face in the Trump administration may be seeing their star on the rise, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Well, Rubio is considered a hawk. He is reportedly planning a possible invasion of Cuba, and reports say that Trump is listening to the Secretary of State more and more as he embraces his pro-interventionism persona. According to recent polls, Rubio is also being viewed unfavorably by the American public, but less so than Vance. This puts him at an advantage when it comes to any Republican Party primary in 2028. There are still more than 2 years to go for the next U.S. presidential election. Vance's fortunes could change in that time, and so could Rubio's. But as things stand, it seems that with Trump's U-turn on his promises of peace, the hawkish Rubio is gaining an advantage over the dovish Vance ahead of the next American race to power.